The full true story of the Grand Canyon. The story of the Grand Canyon is not a simple one. It is not merely a hole carved by a river. It is a profound epic involving the violent birth of continents, the patient persistence of water, and the transformative power of time itself. It is the story of how the Earth's history was first buried, then lifted and finally revealed. The foundation, building the layers, 1.8 billion to 270 million years ago. Long before there was a canyon, there was a stage built over billions of years. The oldest rocks at the bottom of the canyon, the Vishnu schist and Zoroaster granite, are not mere layers of sediment. They are the roots of ancient mountains as tall as the Himalayas today, that were built and then completely worn down to a flat plain over hundreds of millions of years. This period represents nearly half of Earth's entire history. Then for millions of years, this region was alternately a shallow tropical sea, a muddy coastal plain, and a windswept desert of massive sand dunes. With each change in environment, a new layer was deposited. Seas left behind limestone and fossils of sea creatures, muddy coasts left behind shale, deserts left behind vast cross-bedded sandstone, like the iconic Coconino sandstone, whose fossilized sand dunes are still visible today. This process of deposition created the stunning sequence of layered rocks that form the canyon's walls, a stacked history book of the Earth, with the oldest pages on the bottom and the youngest on top. This principle is called superposition. The entire region was then lifted to form a massive, stable block known as the Colorado Plateau. The lift, setting the stage, 70–80 million years ago. A flat layer of rock does not make a canyon, it needs a slope. Beginning around 70–80 million years ago, the immense tectonic forces of the Laramide orogeny, which also created the Rocky Mountains, began to uplift the entire Colorado Plateau. This uplift was not a single earthquake, but a slow, colossal heaving upward of the continent, raising the plateau to an average elevation of over 8,000 feet, 2,400 meters today. This uplift was the crucial event. It gave the rivers that flowed across the land the one thing they need to become powerful tools of erosion: gradient, or slope. A steeper slope means faster water, which means greater power to cut down and carry away rock. The Carver, the Colorado River, 5 to 6 million years ago. This is the heart of the story, and the part with the most scientific debate. The ancestral Colorado River did not simply appear and start cutting. The modern river we know today is likely a relatively recent geologic feature, probably no older than 5 or 6 million years. The prevailing theory, the stream capture or integration theory, suggests that several separate older rivers flowing across the uplifted plateau eventually met and connected, forming one large, powerful river system. Once integrated, the Colorado River had a clear path to the sea, the Gulf of California, and a tremendous gradient from the high plateau. Its work began in earnest. How does a river carve a canyon? 1. Downcutting. The river's flow, loaded with sand, silt, and gravel, acted like sandpaper, grinding away at the rock beneath it, carving downward. 2. Erosion. The river doesn't work alone. Weathering from rain, ice, wind, and the roots of plants weakens the rock on the canyon walls. 3. Mass wasting. This weakened rock gives way through landslides, rockfalls, and slumping. This is how the canyon expands sideways, retreating from the river. The hard, resistant limestone and sandstone cliffs form the steep drops, while the softer shale layers erode into slopes. The river is both a chisel and a conveyor belt. It carves the rock and then carries the debris away to the ocean, ensuring the canyon remains exposed. A twist in the tale: the mystery of the Kaibab upwarp. The story has a fascinating complication. As the Colorado Plateau uplifted, one area rose higher than the surrounding land, the Kaibab Plateau. This dome, which the river now cuts directly through, presented a major problem. How did the river manage to cut through this rising obstacle instead of being diverted around it? This is a classic geological puzzle. The answer seems to be that the river was already established and was cutting downward at a rate that matched or exceeded the rate of the uplift. It kept its pace, sawing through the rising rock like a table saw cutting through a piece of wood being pushed upward against it. This is known as antecedence. The river existed before the uplift and maintained its course during it. The human chapter, a story of wonder and discovery. The geologic story is vast, but the human story is intimate. Native peoples. For at least 12,000 years, humans have inhabited the canyon. The Puebloans, ancestral Puebloans, also known as Anasazi, left behind ruins, pottery, and rock art. Today, it is a sacred place for many tribes, including the Havasupai, people of the blue-green water, Hualapai, Hopi, Navajo, and Paiute. European American discovery. The first recorded sighting by a European American was in 1540 by soldiers from Coronado's expedition. In 1869, Major John Wesley Powell, a one-armed Civil War veteran, led the first documented expedition down the treacherous river. His detailed journals and maps introduced the canyon to the world and sparked scientific curiosity. Protection. Recognizing its unparalleled value, President Theodore Roosevelt declared it a game reserve in 1906 and a national monument in 1908. After a long fight for federal protection, it was finally established as Grand Canyon National Park in 1919. A living chronicle. The Grand Canyon is not a finished work. The story continues every day. The Colorado River is still carving, though its power is now tempered by dams like Glen Canyon Dam. Rockfalls still reshape the cliffs. New fossils are still being exposed, adding details to our understanding. Its true grandeur lies in its scale of time. It is not just a canyon, it is the most profound record of Earth's history on the planet. Walking from the rim to the river is a journey backwards through 1.8 billion years. It is a place that forces us to confront the sublime power of deep time and the humble yet powerful force of flowing water. It is the Earth's autobiography carved in stone.